You've got to shoot this bit, Margaret! You've got to shoot it!
Menuires is the correct pronunciation.
Just like Taylor Swift, the Peak 8 base area continues to reinvent itself.
And this looks like the absolute Bernese mountain dog.
You're just clueless, man. You need to get out there.
Hello, Arcteryx. Could you send me some jackets, please?
In this year, for example, they were skiing in certain places until, May and June time.
Yeah.
Why more people don't go early doors? I just don't get it.
So, welcome back, snow fans, to our second episode of the season of The Whiteout. Doesn't time fly? I'm your host, Dom Killinger, and as usual, I am joined by the incredibly talented, fantastically good-looking, universally knowledgeable co-host, Rob Stewart. How are you, Rob?
Oh, thanks, Dom. That is very kind of maybe a bit OTT, but at least it's factual. I'd say apart from the universal bit, I don't really get that.
Well, you know a lot about a lot about everything there, Rob.
Oh, right, okay. But yeah, no, that's not true. I know a lot about skiing, but after that, to be honest, it's a dark abyss, I'm afraid. Whilst you just seem to know everything, which is quite handy.
No, I'm one of those people that just knows a little bit about everything, Rob. So I just managed to bundle my way through things.
Okay.
A quick reminder to listeners, your review really does count. It's not just vanity for Rob and I, but it actually helps other like-minded skiers find this podcast. So please do take 2 seconds to hit the 5 stars and tell us how great it is. And of course, if you don't like it, let's keep it a secret between us. So Rob, let's get started. It's been a week and a half in the snow industry, hasn't it? We've had the 2 snow shows and our trade show in the middle. We've got the latest news that we're going to look at today. And we've got a bit of a weather report and our usual gear guide, resort focus, bucket list trip. What more could you possibly want from an episode?
Well, yeah, there is a lot going on, Dom, and lots going on, obviously, as we go into November. But I think you're going to take it away with the first news item. A quick shout out to our charity partner, Snow Camp, the game-changing national youth charity who turn young lives around with the power of snow sports. Visit snowcamp.org.uk or search Snow Camp online to get in touch and to get involved.
So the National Snow Week, that was the big thing for this year, wasn't it? We had the National Snow Show at Birmingham NEC, which was nearly 2 weeks ago now, which was great. Then we had a 3-day trade event called Listex In Between, where we had all business to business and everybody talking very business stuff, not really a consumer thing. And then we had the London Snow Show, or the NEC, not at the NEC, at Excel, which was very, very busy. Fantastic show, I think you'll agree. But the big news is that the company behind those two shows, Raccoon Events, they have decided to not do the Birmingham one anymore and to focus all their efforts on the London show. So dates have literally just been announced for the snow show next year. It'll be October the 19th and 20th, 2024. They are going to carry on. Well, they've said they're going to carry on this whole Snow Week theme, which not sure how that's going to work, but it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. I think they talked about some satellite shows because I'm sure there's people up in the Midlands and north of the Midlands that are probably sad that the NEC one won't be happening anymore. But I have to say, I found the London show pretty busy. I know you did, because I couldn't even pin you down for a cup of coffee. It was pretty damn busy. Exciting times. It is great to see a show back in London. What did you think, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, great to have a show back in London. And like I said, 2 days, and it just seemed almost too short, running around. So many things to do, so many things to see. And I'm really pleased that they managed to get a London show going.
Yeah,
I think there's a few lessons, there's a few things to learn. There's always going to be a few things to learn after a first event like that in a venue that's never ever been used before for a ski show or a snow show, whatever you want to call it. So I think, yes, brilliant, well done.
It was very much look forward to next year. What else have we got, Rob, this weekend, a big weekend ahead?
Yeah, so I mean, we're right on top of the start of the alpine skiing race calendar now, which is taking place in Salden. And last year's races were affected pretty badly by weather. And actually, people were worried about the snow, but then what happened is it just snowed. So the women's race got cancelled. Things are looking pretty good up there right now. Conditions are looking good, or, better than they were last year, and the weather forecast is good, so the races are going ahead. But obviously coming up, really interestingly is the new Zermatt men's downhills on November the 11th and 12th. And if you remember last year, they were cancelled due to lack of snow.
Yeah.
So again, I think things are looking positive. I don't think we've got any official green lights at the moment, but that should go ahead. And then at the same time, that same weekend, the women kick things off in Levi in Finland with a couple of slalom races. And then after that, it's the turn of the women to visit Zermatt for 2 downhills on November the 18th and 19th. And at the same time, the men's slalom skiers, including, of course, Great Britain's Dave Riding, compete in Obergurgl in a brand new race on November the 18th. So there's loads going on in November suddenly with the Alpine ski racing calendar.
Very cool.
In Europe with basically 3 new races on November.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And then they're going to head off to North America for a couple of weeks of races before they come back to Europe again for just as we head into December. So I'm really interested to look to see what's happening in Obergurgl, Dave's sponsor resort, of course. So, that would see how he does. It would be fantastic if he had a good result there. Just go and check it out if you want to check out all the news and schedule for the Alpine ski racing calendar, or actually any ski racing, freestyle, snowboard, telemark, all the disciplines. Go to fis-ski.com for more information.
Cool. You love the bit of the old ski racing, don't you? And I know we were hanging out with Dave Riding over the summer at an event, so it was good to see him in high spirits. A proper legend. So let's just hope he becomes even more legendary this winter. It'd be fantastic. And talking of the FIS, I read about some dispute between them and Protect Our Winters, POW as they're known. What do you know about that? Did you read about that?
I've had a bit of a ding dong. So POW, Protect Our Winters, has recently launched a petition against the International Ski Federation, or FIS. They've protested against what it sees as excessive use of snow farming, basically like digging up snow on both the Solden and Zermatt glaciers ahead of the World Cup opening races.
You can imagine that's gone down a tree.
Well, it's a controversial subject, and from what I understand, the moving of snow in itself doesn't majorly impact the glaciers, according to some independent sources, but of course it does look ugly.
Yeah.
And if it did actually diminish the glacier in any way, that would clearly be terrible. So Protect Our Winters have put this petition out for people to sign to say, look, we're really against this. FIS, International Ski Federation, FIS, has released a statement in response to the POW campaign, and I can tell you that they're not holding back on this one.
I can imagine.
It's quite long, the statement, but I've got a quick extract here if you want to hear it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, it says this. Your campaign is highly unattractive. Your actions do not only harm the reputation of FIS, but the future of skiing and snowboarding and the credibility of everyone who is genuinely trying to fight for climate action. Given the urgency of the challenge we face, anyone in the snow sports world who cares about the perils of climate change should not focus on attention-seeking stunts, but on finding real long-term solutions. FIS, at least, will continue to act in this spirit.
Oh, proper handbags at dawn, isn't it? They're really winding each other up.
Well, it's a strong response. And I haven't seen anything back from Protect Our Winters yet, but
no. Well,
I'm sure we'll get something.
I'm sure we will. Be interesting to watch this space.
Absolutely.
So well, Vail Resorts, you obviously know Vail Resorts. For any listeners who don't know Vail Resorts, probably one of the biggest resort owners in the world. They own a bunch of resorts around the world, including our very own European resort, Andermatt in Switzerland, and now in talks, as very cleverly broken news on inthesnow.com, also talking to Crown Montana in Switzerland, although nothing confirmed just yet. But yeah, so Vail Resorts have come to us with a bunch of new lift developments in North America, some very cool stuff, all stuff that I can brag about having been to. So Keystone dropped into last year. They've got a new high-speed 6-passenger Bergman Express lift, taking guests up to the bowls and gladed terrain in Bergman and Ericsson bowls. Both bowls will be accessible by lift now, opening up the terrain to all skill levels. That's super good news. Love all that. Breckenridge, I was there last year as well. God, I'm showing off. Just like Taylor Swift, the Peak 8 base area continues to reinvent itself, says Vail Resorts. New this season, skiers and riders can look forward to the continued evolution of the resort in their most popular area with a new dedicated learning area, plus the upgrade of a 5-chair to a new high-speed quad. It's called the 5 Super Chair. So that's a decent lift upgrade there at Breckenridge. All 4 chairlifts that service Peak 8 will now be high speed to assist with the improved flow and circulation. I have to say that when I was there, didn't specifically see any problem with that, and we were there during quite a busy period. So obviously a great upgrade for Breckenridge there. Fantastic resort for anybody who really fancies a great town and a great resort to ski in. Love the place. Heavenly in Tahoe. Also, Tahoe, also somewhere that I've been. So they've upgraded their North Bowl lift, and now it's open. They've upgraded from a fixed grip 3-person chair to a high-speed detachable 4-person chair last year. So it reduces their ride time of the Boulder and North Bowl lifts. So that's really cool as well. So getting people up the hill quicker is what everybody's focusing on. It also reduces wait times down at Stagecoach and Olympic lifts. So that's very, very cool. And Whistler, been there as well. Yawn.
Obviously.
Whistler's Mountain, I can't stop laughing now. Whistler Mountains Fitzsimmons Express upgrades are anticipated for completion this winter. They've got a 4-person Fitz at the moment, Fitz chairlift located at Whistler's Village Base. It's also being replaced with an 8-person high-speed chair, increasing uphill capacity by 73%.
Wow.
Good news for Whistler, right?
Impressive list of lift
resorts that I've been to. Sorry, listeners. I don't want you to be hating me at this early stage of the season.
I'm just now thinking about North America. I've got to tick some boxes off just so I can.
I know.
Start to catch up. Actually, that's going to take a while.
Yeah, absolutely. What else?
I've got a story a little bit close to home. This one, I really like the story from tour operator Peak Retreats.
Oh yeah, we love them. Yeah.
I sometimes drive to the Alps, and I've got to be honest, I like to break it up with a stay overnight. Especially going down with a family. My wife doesn't drive as well, and it's a long way. If you're just on your own, if you're just driving on your own. So I like staying in the middle of France, and actually, to be honest, it adds to the holiday as well, I think. So Peak Retreats has now added selected hotels en route that are not far from the motorway. And they're also sort of specially picked by the team as well.
Oh, wow.
So they're not just random places. I think it's a great idea because I struggle to find places, and I've got a couple of favorite sort of towns that I go to, but you can just book everything now through Peak Retreats, and you will. They look really nice. The places look just really nice. They've obviously spent a lot of time finding these places, which is the tricky part, right? And they've gone, this is a cool place. It's just off the motorway. It looks really nice. And it's easy to get to, and we can book it for you as well. So all of those things, brilliant idea. peakretreats.co.uk for more information.
Very cool. Like that idea a lot. They could enhance that and start adding hotels that have got electric chargers, and that would really suit me down to the ground. But yeah, very neat idea.
That would be sensible to have for if the hotel's just off the motorway. You'd reckon that they might think about that idea anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So completely on different lines, I'm sure you probably heard about Sky Alps. So they are an airline that have been going for a while. They've finally secured their flight route going from Stansted into Bolzano. And it's fantastic news for those people in the Dolomiti Superski area around the Dolomites. Can reduce some of your transfer times to down to as little as 30 minutes, when sometimes they have been up to a couple of hours for those transfers. Very, very good news. I think that's a really neat option. So they are flying, I think it's Sundays and Wednesdays, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
Sundays through Wednesdays.
I mean, it's a premium service, isn't it? But at the end of the day, it gets you right into the heart of the area very, very quickly. If you're going to do a short break, it's pretty good. And they are a reputable airline. It's not a new airline. This is a new route.
Ski the Dolomites. I love it.
Well, there is a lot more to say about the Dolomites, but I mean, that's for another time, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our news roundup for this week, Rob.
So what's the weather and the snow looking like, Dom? Because, last time we recorded our podcast, there wasn't a lot happening, but it does feel like the weather has really changed here in the UK since that happened. And normally that means, it starts changing in the Alps as well. Yeah. So what is the situation?
So I love the weather bit, Rob. This is my favorite bit. Maybe it's not my favorite at this time of the year, but as soon as it gets going, I want to own this section because I love a bit of snowfall. Everybody wants to know where they can ski now, and we do a regular blog update on inthesnow.com. Did I get a plug just in there? So if you type in where can I ski now, or where is great to ski now, often we will come up number one on Google to tell you exactly where is great to ski. Obviously, one of the things we had last season, one of the big problems we had was actually just a lack of rainfall or snowfall, if you like. It was always usually pretty cold enough. And as you say, we have noticed a bit of a cold snap here, and we are seeing that across Europe as well. There's been some snowfall at altitude over 2,000 meters in the Alps and the Pyrenees over the last few days, which is great news. I've seen some pretty nice, encouraging pictures coming out of some resorts, including a lovely white photo from Vail, or a number of photos from Vail this morning. It does look like temperatures will drop significantly in the next couple of weeks. There's already some snow forecast too, over 1,500 meters anyway, which is what you'd expect at this time of the year. It looks a bit more showery, but that will mean the mountains start to turn white. Glaciers look like they're in slightly better condition than they were this time last year with some fresh snow. Obviously, the glaciers are thinning out in general, but the point is they do look in general better condition than they were this time last year. And over in Finland, they've had some fresh snowfall, and the resorts of Ruka and Levi are already open, which is good and very nice news. Scotland, even closer to home, has seen some snowfall as well as on the mountains. So in general, Europe is having a pretty positive turn at this stage. There's a lot of precipitation around, which is what we need, rather than high pressure, which usually blocks that out. We've got the right weather cycles coming in. So it looks like we might have a good start to the winter.
Yep.
North America, it's snowing right now in Big Sky, Montana. Who went there last year? That was you, not me. In case you didn't remember. And it's snowing in Big Sky, Montana, right down to resort level. So there's not enough to ski on just yet, but it is turning white. And right now, California is pretty dry, as is Colorado, but temperatures are dropping there now, and some snow is forecast ready for the next week or two. Not massive amounts, but certainly down to resort levels, which is very cool. A bit of a dusting of snow on the higher slopes of Whistler too. Again, that sort of thing you'd expect for late October, so that's good news. Overall, it's looking pretty positive with the change in weather. And as you say, we're feeling that change of weather here. When you go out at night time, it is getting not frosty, but it is much, much chillier than it has been over the last few weeks. So overall, fingers crossed, it's looking all right. Looking all right for this time of the year.
Yeah, I think so. It's looking all right for this time of year.
Yeah, exactly.
Those skis got carbon in them.
Have you seen my goggles anywhere?
So what about gear, Rob?
Yeah, it is that time of year, and I've started to get a little bit of new kit coming through, and it is very exciting. I do think so many skiers and snowboarders do love their kit, and I'm no exception to that, as you know. And you've seen from some of the excitement levels I get to at these kind of events we attend, all the new ski wear for this season. We just test a lot of kit, and sometimes we need to get it into our hands to do that. But so
what have you got?
First up, I've just got my hands on the new Patagonia untracked jacket and trousers. It's a 3-layer Gore-Tex shell, tons of features. It's the new version for this winter. You can check that out on eu.patagonia.com. I mean, for all the techie stuff, check that out on the website. What I would like to say is I've been wearing Patagonia gear for like 30 years, and this looks like the absolute Bernese mountain dog version of that well-known phrase that describes the best of the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you know what I mean. It looks amazing. Right, I haven't worn it out on the slopes yet, but if you're looking to do a season, or if you're a serious sort of winter ski tourer, then this is the kind of shell to look out for, I'd say. It's not super lightweight, this one, but it feels very tough, very durable. There's vent zips on the jackets and the upper part of the trousers. They've got some seriously reinforced lower cuffs too, to stop that sort of typical wearing close to the boots. Colorway I've got is shrub green. It's blended with some kind of soft blue. I mean, Patagonia seems so obsessed with various forms of green over the last few years, but anyway, this one looks good. It looks a lot better than the images online as well. I've got to say, the actual jacket itself, you know, it's a nice sort of soft tone green, and on the website, when you look at it, it looks quite bright. So I really like the color. The RRP of the jacket is £650. It's pretty high end. I reckon you can pick it up for around 600 at the moment, because it is a new line. You've got outlets like LD Mountain Center, Ski Bartlett, they stock Patagonia, and the trousers, they're around, the RRP is £580. probably pick it up a little bit cheaper than that. It's a high-end bit of kit. It's going to last you years and years, this one.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to doing a full review of that as soon as I get out on the slopes. I will definitely have that jacket on. I've also got hold of the new Arc'teryx Sabre insulated mid-layer jacket, and I've been wearing the classic Arc'teryx Atom hoodie for a while. A few 2 or 3 years now I've had that jacket for. It's really one of my go-to jackets for all kinds of things, weather and just round town based mid-layer jacket for skiing, whatever. It's one of those really, really versatile mid-layer jackets. The cut is really, really nice as well. But this new one, kind of the same, but even better. I mean, again, the cut's really, really nice. It looks really smart to wear, really versatile. And Arc'teryx say that it's, quote, made to regulate temperature. It combines air permeable Fortius air 50 phase fabric and airflow and vapor transport. I have no idea what that means actually, with Coraloft Insulation's breathable warmth.
Wow.
It's been a little bit chilly in the house over the last few days, and I've put it on, and honestly, it feels like it's got heat packs in it. And the Atom is similar to that, but this is a step up. RRP is £300, and that is a lot for a mid-layer, and maybe part of that is a brand thing. I don't know. But
much cheaper than having the heating on.
Yes, true. It does, well, absolutely. It does feel like that sort of price is justified actually, because it's it's just got a really, really nice feel about it.
Yeah.
And
you might
be able to pick it up a little less than that, through retailers. But again, it's brand new, so it's probably unlikely for a while. Check it out, arcteryx.com. That's the best place to look at it at the moment.
You picked two brands there, Rob, that you've been wearing for years, and I think the only thing I've got out of Arc'teryx and Patagonia is a Patagonia bag.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know why. That's just
because I asked. It's because I just asked them.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say,
hello,
this
Patagonia.
is
Hello, Arc'teryx. Can you send me some jackets, please? And they go, yes.
That's essentially what I am doing right now. For anybody listening from Arc'teryx or Patagonia, you're welcome to send me something. Anyway, what else?
Anyway, kid, don't try that at home. I don't know how to pronounce this brand, which is pretty bad considering that, I review brands. So is that Unes or Unit? Unes. Anyway, according to Unes' latest innovation, Naton 3.0 set up to revolutionize winter sports apparel for 10 national ski teams, including GB Snowsport. This is like high performance technical underwear developed by YUN, and it's specially designed for winter sports athletes. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't got hold of it yet. I've just been sent a press release, but it looks really interesting, and I thought I would mention it. Hopefully I'll get to test it this winter. They say Naton 3.0 showcases impressive improvements in thermoregulation, freedom of movement, and muscular support.
Easy for you to say.
It does go on actually quite a lot to describe the technical information of this fabric. It does look very cool.
Essentially, it's a very cool base layer. And technically,
it does look like a very technically cool base layer.
Or warm even.
And obviously they're providing that to the British ski team by the sounds of things. Anyway, you can check it out at uynsports.com. It's all one word. And if anybody has any suggestions how to pronounce this brand, please do let me know, because I'm just struggling. Anyway, Dom, what have you got?
Well, along the lines of base layers as well, we've got Embrace, which is IMBRACE, Embrace, which have got built-in knee supports. So a British company called Embrace, they were launched at the snow shows in Birmingham, London, with Chemi. I did actually get hold of a pair of these last year as well. Chemi Alcott was there to talk about them too. So she was helping develop these base layers. She had a pretty big knee injury a few years ago now. And yeah, it looks like a really neat product. I mean, the whole point is that it's a support device as well as a base layer. Obviously, there are bigger and stronger support devices like the likes of Ski Mojo, which is a sort of a bigger contraption that you put on your your knees, and it takes the pressure off your knees. Embrace is a sort of, lighter weight version of that, just to offer that extra support, but all built into your base layer as well. So it's a very neat solution, actually.
Yep.
You can check them out at imbrace.com, imbrace, imbrace.com with an I, and they cost £149 for the leggings, which not cheap when you think about what you're getting. I think they're pretty good value. I've not tested them because I'm lucky enough not to have bad knees just yet. But I did speak to Shemi about them, and she's a big fan, which is fair enough, as she's developed them. And I'm sure she wouldn't put a name to it if she didn't think they work. So there's definitely loads of tech info on the website. But for anyone with knee or hip issues, it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah, they do look good. And then I was also lucky enough to be exhibiting next to a pal of mine, Ollie from Panda Optics. I really like his goggles, and I really like Ollie. He's just he's a very unassuming guy who's developed these goggles, and got a fantastic story behind him. So he launched a new product at the Snow Show this week. He also works with Shemi. Wow, she's getting her name on everything, which is very interesting. So it's Panda Optics, panda as in the animal. Proper British goggle brand, but these goggles, I mean, they're nice high-end goggles at great value for money. So they're dual vision. There are only sort of one or two brands to do dual vision products, and I tried them on at the Snow Show, and to be fair, they were really, really nice goggles, and very, very nice indeed. They can be used either with a toric polarized lens, which gives that whole curvature of a retina, or the cylindrical polarized lens, both magnetically linked to the frame. So really nice, and all the usual tech that you'd expect. Goggle comes in two colors, each with two lens options. As with all Panda Optics, there is a free low light HD lens included with every set. 160 quid for these, whether you've got the toric or the cylindrical lens as well. So, and the low light HD lens included as well. So you'll soon be able to get those on his website, which is pandaoptics.co.uk. And yeah, highly recommend those. They're really, really nice. His stand looked great at the Snow Show, and I think he did pretty well selling goggles as well, which is great to see.
Yep. So, Don, we're gonna do our resort focus feature this week on Les Menuires. And I'm talking about pronunciation. I'm pretty sure Les Menuires is the correct pronunciation. I do hear it being called many different things. Les Menuires, it's definitely not that. Les Menuires. I mean, that could be quite nice, but it's a bit Spanish, isn't it? Les Menuires. Les Menuires is how I pronounce it, and I think that's right. I mean, it might not be spot on or perfect.
Rob,
you're going to talk about.
You sound like a Frenchman. You sound like you're native French.
Well, I don't. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure about that. But it's I know you've been to Les Menuires quite a lot. You know the resort pretty well. Mm-hmm. I don't know it that well. I mean, I've sort of passed through there on skis a few times, and skied that little part of the three valleys, probably once whilst I've been either based in Val Thorens.
Yep. Very nice.
Like Maribel or maybe Courchevel, whatever. I've actually never stayed in Les Menuires. But, I know it's changed massively over the years. I know there's tons to do there as well. And I know that it's developed as a resort so much over the last 10 to 15 years. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it, because you know more than me.
Les Menuires. Les Menuires. So we are, just for the listeners, in case you don't know exactly where it is, it's just slightly above the charming Savoyard village of Saint-Martin-de-Belleville. So that's a nice little village just below, and they're just below Val Thorens. So really nicely placed. They've always called themselves the Smile of the Alps because of the semicircular arc that its main building complex makes, and it's got a good sunshine record. And now they've called themselves Friendly Menuires. So it's kind of that sort of, do you see what they tried to do there? Conjoin the whole friendly and Les Menuires. So yeah, very nice. Right. So they're at the center of the biggest ski area in the world. So it's the ideal destination for a holiday in the mountains if you're a family or friends or whatever you want. So if you want big access to the Les Tourvallées, the ski area provides people with basically a massive playground of 600 kilometers of slopes and a few ski resorts that you can ski into, the likes of Mayrhofen and Courchevel. I'm getting better at this. I'm getting quite into it now. I'm eating my raclette as I speak. So fabulous scenery, great snow, fantastic ski conditions all around. So it's a massive area, and it's perfect for those families and anybody who wants to experience Les Tourvallées. But the other thing is, you tend to find it's a little cheaper in Les Menuires. So the resort itself is divided into quarters, although there are more than 4 of them. The main facilities are in La Croisette, which is the original sort of centre that maybe you've probably skied into when you ski past, and Les Brières. And above them are the accommodation complexes of Roberti 1850, Roberti 2000, which I've stayed in both of those, and Berlin. I haven't stayed there. But again, often in those places, you are literally skiing into your living room. I mean, you can literally ski into your living room.
That's more chalet accommodation in those places.
That's
more
right.
Chalet style, right?
It is, yeah. Whereas down in the main centre, it is very apartment-led. Yeah. So, yeah, very, very much of the building is pretty functional. There's a bit of criticism about some of the architecture there, but actually, once you get used to it, it's quite cool. And there is some replacement going on as well there now. So the resort is 100% accessible on skis. So you can park your car in one of the many car parks to use free shuttle buses. But if you're staying there, the likelihood is you're pretty much ski out. It is very good for families because you are in that nice little, that sort of nice little centre. Kids can play around and even go down some of the little slopes themselves. You don't tend to get that whole sort of fur-coated, people that you might get in some of the other bigger resorts nearby that I'm not going to say. And the slopes nearest to the resort, really good for the beginners and kids as well. But then obviously as you progress, there is just a whole playground beyond that. So the big selling point is ski in, ski out, because I mean, let's face it, it's the idyllic holiday, isn't it? For whether you're a family or not, everybody wants a bit of ski in, ski out, and Les Menuires, everywhere you're at it. So it is purpose built. It's right in the heart of the Three Valleys, as we said. So that's very, very cool. They do boast a good little sunshine record as well. And you are in just this massive area, 160 lifts, 600 kilometers of skiing, plus obviously a bunch of off-piste as well. So you're right in there. And in a day, you could easily visit Val Thorens, Méribel, Courchevel, and Les Menuires. So it's actually great if you want to do all of that.
If you're a good intermediate skier and above, you can get to Courchevel and back in a day, right? That's
exactly.
what I would say from there.
Yeah. They're at 1850, so they're at a good height, so very reliable snow record throughout the winter season. Nice big long season, so typically they're running December to late April, just like Val Thorens as well. It's home to La Masse Glacier, so that's at 2,800 meters. Bit more challenging skiing with a variety of off-piste opportunities there, but it's a must-see spot in Les Trois Vallées, so that's really, really nice. And then in the centre of the resort, you've got a whole hub of activity, including swimming pool and wellness facilities, and there's options for indoor activities as well. So it's a seriously good place, like for if you've got younger kids as well. And I'm not trying to say this is only for families, but it is great for families. Right. If they get knackered at sort of 1 or 2 o'clock, or even at lunchtime, there is a bunch of stuff that you can do in the resort with a bit of après as well. So yeah, really good. They boast about 300 sunny days a year. I think everybody boasts that, but they are in a good position for that. All aspects of the slope, which sort of sunshine facing. So it tends to find that in those colder winter months, you can get a bit of a blast of sunshine to keep you warmed up. And the morning sunshine shines on the Masse side of the mountain, and then the afternoon it turns to the Mont de la Chambre. So those are the 2 areas that offer the best conditions. And I think the big thing is the competitive pricing. So if you're going to compare it with a Méribel, Courchevel, Val Thorens, you are looking at slightly softened prices, which is really good for for accessing the same ski area. So yeah, good value for money. Ski in, ski out. Beat some of those lift queues because you're not going to necessarily get as busy in Les Menuires as you might do in some of those other bigger resorts that are right on their doorstep. Yeah, great destination. Really love the place. I literally stayed in I've stayed there a couple of times, but one of the chalets we stayed in, we were literally opening the lounge door and clipping our skis on and skiing straight out, and it was as good as that. So, well worth looking at. Big lift system, loads of slopes, good snowfall, great for kids. What more can I say, Rob? I mean, am I on commission here or what?
Well, no, well, you should be if you're not. Blimey. No, I get it, and I get all of those things, and it sounds pretty cool. And like I said, I have skied through it, but I just, it's just sometimes you don't realize what else is there, and that's the whole sort of thing about it. Yeah, it is. So I think now we're going to look at our bucket list destination.
This is always juicy, isn't it? Bucket list destinations, which I love this bit. We love this bit.
Yeah. Well, it's that time when we talk about the kind of places that either we'd be very, very, very lucky enough to have been to, or that we are desperately looking at going to one day. Yeah, interestingly, last week I saw a presentation from the Ski Club of Great Britain that was sort of around a recent survey of skiers, not just ski club members, but they go out to a wider database.
Oh, yeah.
Said, one of the things they ask skiers is where they would really want to go to, where they would really like to go to. And a huge 27% of skiers said that they would like to go skiing in Canada.
Oh, wow.
And 12% said that they would like to go to the USA. Now, that is a much larger group of people than the actual numbers that do go there.
Yeah,
because I think it's around 4 to 5% of the market, so it is very aspirational. People it's on the dream list, it's on the bucket list. Canada and North America are true bucket list destinations for a lot of skiers.
So I thought we'd get on an absolute expert from Ski Safari this week. And we have got Ruka, who's their product manager. Who better to ask the questions about some of the fabulous resorts in North America? Because I have to say, I came back and I said, you know what? I'm only skiing in North America from now on, which I know isn't realistic. So
it'd be nice. I also went to North America last winter as well, and I must say it was absolutely amazing. It was brilliant.
Where were you?
I was actually in Montana. But
in Montana. Good stuff. Well, so let's welcome to the show, Rupert from Ski Safari. How are you doing today, Rupert? Don't tell me if you're anywhere really glamorous and really nice. I actually don't want to know. Just tell me you're in, I don't know, Kent or something.
Hove,
that'll do.
By the sea.
Quite glamorous,
right,
as is Kent, I find sometimes, actually.
So you are an absolute expert when it comes to North America.
Yep.
So it's fair to say that most people have got it on their bucket list, haven't they? What is the main appeal from your perspective?
I would say that the snow, especially these days, is one big pull to North America.
Yeah.
They have a long season, starts early and goes on well into April. I mean, this year, for example, they were skiing in certain places until, May and June time because they had such big snowfall. And then I think the standards and the service level that you get just far exceeds what you get when you go to Europe. And I think also, you got your big name resorts, Vail, Breckenridge, Park City, Heavenly. People have heard of them and people aspire to going.
We know a lot of those kind of really amazing things about skiing in North America. I guess for a lot of people, they might be just looking at sheer sort of price. I mean, thinking, well, it's not cheap to go over to the States to ski. You've got the costs of getting there to start with. So what would you say to your customers or potential customers about that? And how do you get around that kind of price question, I guess?
So I think, flights are definitely going to be more than flying to mainland Europe. But, when you look at it, they still represent pretty good value for money, considering the distance you're traveling. I mean, we're hearing now a lot of people are finding Europe really expensive. And actually, comparatively speaking, North America isn't that much more. And sometimes it's even less, especially, some of the holiday periods where Europe have really jacked the prices up. North America is still pretty good value.
That's an interesting point, actually, for those holiday periods, because I guess they don't have the same sort of half-term pressures and all of that sort of holiday times that we have here in Europe, where resorts get very busy. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. So especially, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But this year, the half-term doesn't hit any American holiday. So there's no increase in price. It's just a normal week out there. So it's not deemed as a peak period to the Americans.
The other thing is they seem to have just that much more space. They don't tend to have those pinch points, do they, where things get a little bit on the busy side. And I think that's the thing I really noticed. I was there Easter last year and we just felt like in some places we had runs to ourselves,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can feel like you're on the mountain to yourself and there's no one else around.
Yeah.
I mean, to get the best value out of North American skiing, you need to plan in advance. There's no last minute booking. There's long stay discounts available, early booking discounts. So if you do your research early and start planning early, then you're going to get the best deal out there.
How far in advance are you talking?
I mean, people were just starting getting the first kind of flickering of interest for next winter, so not the ones coming the one after. People are starting to kind of do their research, starting to think about it.
Yeah.
By booking early, you then got time to save up for it as well. The other thing that needs to be kind of factored in these days are the lift passes.
Yeah.
Lift passes work in North America is very different to Europe.
Yeah.
So you've got your Epic Pass, which goes on sale about, I think about March time they first release it. And then they come out with one price, and then over the months they start sneaking the price up, usually small increases. And then about end of November, beginning of December, that pass then comes off sale, and then you pay kind of ticket window in-season prices, which are about double the price. So you have to have it planned in advance, and you have to buy your lift pass. Of course,
so you would build that into a package for somebody, and obviously you have to flex that pricing accordingly.
Yep, and they have to buy it. You have to pay for it there, and then if you leave it, you're going to pay more.
So often these destinations are very much branded as that big mountain, cliff dropping, backcountry. It can be daunting for people who maybe haven't done it before, isn't it? What do you say to those people? What's your answer to that?
I mean, I guess the first thing to point out is the difference between North American resorts and European resorts. And the fact in North America that you have your boundaried area of ski resort, and within that area, you can ski where you like. So you don't have this on-piste, off-piste with a marker determining whether you're on or off-piste. So you've got a huge area that's your playground. Within that area, yes, there are advanced areas and some super advanced areas, but every resort has to have its soft, more amenable areas to all abilities of skiers. And then, but I think also because a lot of them are designed, you always have an easy route down from a lot of the lifts. So as a family, you can ski together. The advanced people go one way, the intermediates go another. And then if you're a beginner, you can even go to the top of the mountain. You can ski all the way to the base area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always found North American, the trails very, very varied and really, really, good for beginners and intermediates. They think about that a lot, don't they? It goes without saying that ski instructors in North America are going to be speaking English generally as a first language, so that could be helpful too, right?
I think the way they design them is that they will try and have different ability runs from the top of lots of the different lifts. So, and it will tell you at the bottom of the lift what terrain it's going to access. So they're very good at steering the consumer, the skiers, to the best areas to suit them.
Obviously, the skiing side is one thing, but if you're going to go to North America and you want to do other things as well, other than skiing or snowboarding, what else is on offer out there? What kind of holiday might you look at if you want to sort of mix things up and do other activities as well?
Well, I'd say most people that go away on holiday with us do something else with their holiday, be it a city stop. So Whistler, you go to Vancouver. You could pretty much choose a city and stop over at it. So New York, Chicago, San Francisco. If you're going to Utah, then you've got all the national parks that you can visit.
And in resort, what sort of other things typically do you think there? Can you go ice skating, dog sledding,
snowmobiles? That's the big one.
Billing.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just a ski holiday, or you can make it definitely more than just a ski trip. There's also in the cities, you can do ice hockey matches. That's pretty common for people to look to do that.
Yeah.
And it's huge, right? I mean, ice hockey is a massive sport in the winter in the States. So.
Like our football, isn't it?
Proper stadiums, right?
Yeah, huge.
So, I don't know whether I'm allowed to ask you this question. What are your favourites?
My favourites? Now there's a question. Well, I guess, Breckenridge, I would say, for our customers is probably the most popular.
Such a great town, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, of all the American resorts, it comes out as providing the best value for money.
Right, yeah.
You know, Vail, you've got the back bowls. They are fantastic.
Yeah,
Legendary.
amazing.
The luxury of Beaver Creek.
Yeah.
And then the snow quality and the terrain at Park City, Utah is, again, fantastic.
So you've got our listeners hooked. They're all wanting to do this. What's the next step?
So basically, we take care of literally everything. So one call, one email, and then we will then put together as much or as little as they want. We will take care of the flights, the car hire, transfers, the accommodation, ski passes, rentals, lessons, everything.
Okay. So they need to come to skisafari.com, pick out one of their fabulous North American resorts, come to you, and then you can just organise it soup to nuts. They've got nothing more to do. They just literally
tell us what they want and we'll do it.
I love it. Well, fantastic experience there talking to you. You clearly have a massive knowledge. Anything else you want to impart with our listeners today before we thank you very much for your help?
I think you've got to go to North America, and I think once you go, you'll definitely be hooked. And lots of our customers, they say they're going to go once, they're back for more the next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the next.
It is a truly fantastic destination, that's for sure. Well, Rupert, thank you. Thank you so much today for your expert knowledge, and we look forward to catching up with you when I book my next break with you.
Excellent.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Rupert.
Cool. My pleasure.
Good stuff.
Cheers. Check out that, listeners. Don't forget to go to skisafari.com to check out for your next North American break. And Rob, you better get on to Rupert. You need to get his email address or his WhatsApp or something, because
I'm on it already. I'm texting.
You're just clueless, man. You need to get out there.
I do. I'm looking forward to a ski safari, Colorado or California ski holiday, I think, this winter for sure. Definitely.
Very good.
Definitely on the cards.
Good stuff. Well, that was absolutely great from the Ski Safari there. Even just the name Ski Safari just makes you feel like you're going and doing something super special. And like you said, Rob, such a lot of people want to do these big trips, but they're not actually getting on and doing it. Probably just the same way that they rate themselves as a very good skier and maybe are quite mediocre, but definitely well worth looking up Ski Safari there. So our final piece, Rob, before we go on for too long, what are we thinking? Best resorts for early season skiing. I thought that would be a really interesting one to quickly nab in before the end of this episode 3 of the season. So Rob, what are you thinking in terms of early season skiing, and what is early season skiing? Is it now? Can I go now?
Well, yeah. I guess it's starting now. You know, we thought we'd highlight the fact that getting onto the slopes way before Christmas is not only possible, but it can be a really great time to go skiing or snowboarding. You know, firstly, it's not that busy. And actually, at the beginning of the season, there's this kind of buzz around ski resorts that you don't always get when you go deep into the season. You know, people are really excited about the start of winter. And you feel that in places, especially very, very early on in December.
I mean, it's the resorts. This is what they work towards all year. So it's bound to be exciting when they open.
Airs coming into town, and
amazing.
The atmosphere is really good, and people are meeting new people and new friends and all that kind of stuff. And even last season, you know, when things weren't perfect early on, they weren't perfect sort of into the new year. Actually, the beginning of the season early on was pretty good. I remember I was skiing at the end of November, and snow was good, you know, and it was fine. And that is often the case. So why more people don't go early doors, I just don't get it. Let's look at some of the destinations that are well set up for it. You know, we're focusing on the Alps for our UK readers because it's obviously the easiest in terms of the logistics, but both Scandinavia, North America, they also have very early season options too. You know, think Finland to start with. And I know it has already started to snow in Norway and Sweden as well. So Scandinavia is an option, but you know, it's different. And I would say the Alps is the obvious choice. Yeah.
So timing wise, many of the glaciers start opening in October, don't they, and into November. So by the time we get into early December, some of the major high altitude resorts start to open up. Our first stop takes us to Vail. We've been already invited to their opening. So Europe's highest ski resort at 2,300 meters. Definitely one of the best options in early December, with plenty of shaded north-facing runs, all above 2,000 meters. So it's part of Les Trois Vallées that we've already talked about. And of course, links do start to open up month by month, providing the snow is good enough. So yeah, purpose-built in Val Thorens, slopeside accommodation, a lot of ski and ski out stuff there as well. Quick, easy access to a big mountain area. Plenty of vibrant après ski. You get a lot of youngsters in town as well. So if you like dancing on the tables of said Folly Deuce, or maybe having a pint at Europe's highest pub, the Frog and Roast Beef. Wow, love that place. That's great.
Oh, yeah. I was there at last season on the first weekend of December, which is like the first, I don't know what it was, very early December, and honestly the whole place was really fantastic. Going for it. It was good.
So that's the first option, Val Thorens. What have you got, Rob?
Well, I thought we'd go over to Ruka in Finland. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but anyway, it's renowned for its tree-lined trails and gentle terrain. You know, even at that, you'll be skiing in the trees up in Finland, even early doors. It's got the biggest beginner ski area in Finland. Great destination for sort of beginners and new to skiing. Shorter daylight hours, obviously, but nearly all the runs are floodlit. So you've got skiers and snowboarders. You can enjoy the slopes well into the evening as well.
Cool.
So great for families. Sort of that ultimate winter wonderland experience. You know, it offers loads of snowy activities like husky sledging, reindeer safaris, and of course a chance to witness the Northern Lights as well.
Love it.
Another two really obvious ones: Val d'Isère and Tignes, also in the French Alps. They're really good bets for early season skiing, pre-Christmas skiing. You know, Tignes tends to open up a bit earlier. The glacier area kicks in normally during late October, or maybe early November. Normally by the first or maybe second week of December, the link between Tignes and Val d'Isère opens up. You get a huge skiing area. It's so quiet at that time of the season, and the accommodation is a lot cheaper.
Yeah, nice.
Than pretty much any other time of the winter as well. There's a lot of groups that go as well. You know, there's a lot of ski courses on, that kind of thing at that time of year. So the atmosphere is always good. What
Cool.
about you, Dom?
Sounds good.
Else?
Well, over in Austria, you've also got Zell, very pretty little lakeside resorts with medieval centre, and it has the nearby Kitzsteinehorn Glacier that's scheduled to open on October 21st. And obviously, as there's more and more snowfall comes, more areas open up and makes it a good early ski season option, because you've always got that glacier if you need to get up there. Same goes for the nearby Mayrhofen as well. Bit more lively après ski there and big choice of chalets. Hintertux Glacier is close by, so it's already open for skiing, but normally by November it's in pretty good condition. And also across in Zermatt in Switzerland, another beautiful option. Obviously, early season choice. It's a resort synonymous really with year-round skiing on the Theodor Glacier. It's got the highest lift system in Europe. Zermatt, you know, very, very good looking, very smart resort. Often offers skiing opportunities during November and into December. And to be fair, often hard to beat at those times of the year. And obviously you've got the brand new World Cup downhill races taking place on consecutive weekends during November too. So that's a great reason to be there. You can imagine the razzmatazz that goes with that as well. Very, very beautiful resort. If anybody hasn't been there, lovely sort of wooden chalets, cobbled streets, no vehicles. You really do notice how fresh the air is there. If you notice it in any other resort, you're going to notice it here. So even in the early seasons, Zermatt got big nightlife, jazz and soul melodies at the Pink Music Bar to lively tunes at Henry Stall. It really is an absolute classic. Zermatt, mind you, I haven't been there for years. I need to get back there. Not since we did a fashion shoot out there, Rob, but yeah, definitely need to get back there.
Yeah.
And obviously,
I haven't been for a few years, but yeah, it's a fantastic ski resort.
It's a cracker, isn't it? Got some lovely high-end hotels as well. Yeah. Obviously, getting to these places early season, it can be a little more challenging, but because obviously tour operators haven't started up yet. But for Tignes and Val Thorens, though, Action Outdoors a good bet because they start early as well. Ski Club of Great Britain always run a big early season ski trip to Tignes as well. Ski course company Snowworks start up during late October in Tignes and Hintertux and Alpenlux. They run by former US Olympic ski coach Gary Miller. He does an early doors trip to Zermatt as well in December, I think. So there are some options out there if you want to tour up, and obviously you can always arrange your own thing and Airbnb or book your hotel direct and get yourself driven down there. So could be a case of looking out for where's getting some good snowfall early on, jump in the car, drive down there with some mates or the family and get some pre-Christmas skiing. And will you be doing that, Rob?
I'm definitely planning to. I mean, I'm normally either Tignes or Val Thorens at the beginning of the season, that first weekend of December. and something always comes up, and it's always just great to get out there early doors.
So that wraps up episode 3 for season 2 for us. Don't forget, listeners, do leave us a review. This isn't for vanity, it's just so people can find us better. So please do leave a 5-star review. And if you didn't like this episode, don't forget, we'll just keep it a secret between us. And next time, what have we got? Our usual roundup of news, snow reports, and where to ski now, and gear reviews, and all the good stuff you'd expect from us in every episode. Rob, when are we back?
We are back in a couple of weeks' time, Dom.
Back in a couple of weeks' time.
We are back in the depths of November when things are really starting to get exciting, aren't they? The next time we're talking, it's kind of like booking the airport parking. God, I should have done that already.
Good. Early November, we'll be back on the wire, won't we? Probably first week of November, we'll be back on the wire. And in the meantime, don't forget to look out for some of those early season ski opportunities. Don't rule it out. Get your trip booked and keep an eye out on some of those snow conditions. Rob, until next time, good to talk.
Good to talk. See you soon.
Adios.
Mais non, talkie-walkie. Pretty sure it's called a walkie-talkie, mate.